So it seems like every time I look up, Terence Crawford is in the news. For a guy that they say can't sell and all this other stuff, right? For whatever reason, he's one of the main topics of discussion amongst hardcore boxing fans. Or should I say American? I can't speak for the whole world, right? But Terence Crawford is a guy that's considered the best in the world in boxing. Some may have Canelo above him, but I feel a majority of people think Terence Crawford is the best guy. And for whatever reason, he can't win with the public. He can't win with the media. He can't even win with his own promoter. He can win every fight. Anybody you put in front of him, he'll knock him down. But when it comes to boxing politics, Bud seems to be losing every time. I don't think Bud Crawford's toughest fight will be any particular opponent per se. I think boxing politics will be Terence Crawford's toughest fight. It's a shame that now we in a situation to where if he really, let's just say he really did say that, what he said on Twitter, it's looking like that fight has gotten further and further from a reality. And to the point where your boy Bushido was like, man, that fight. Errol Spence got to get past Danny Garcia anyway, right? That's first things first. Box fans, we kind of disrespecting Garcia. We disrespected Danny. We all know that Danny ain't no slouch. He may not have any significant wins at welterweight, but Danny Garcia, stylistically, I think he matches up with Errol Spence very well. Danny Garcia has trouble with guys that's a lot faster than him. Errol Spence isn't that much faster than Danny. I mean, I think Danny has enough speed and his excellent timing to get him just right. So, but while we jumping the gun with the 60-40s and all this bullshit, they don't really got nothing to do with us fans. But unfortunately, in today's boxing, even guys like me, guys who more about the fight, got to educate ourselves on the politics, the business, all that stuff, right? I had to educate myself on that. We got to. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, because that's what a lot of this is now. We spend more time talking about negotiations and purse splits and how much a man is making rather than this motherfucker getting his ass in the ring. But the thing Bob Arum said, right, to me, he devalued Terence Crawford before he kicked him on out the door. You come out the day before, right after the fight, said Errol Spence is ducking him, he don't want to fight and all this other shit. But then the following day, we get an article from Michael Benson saying that you said all kinds of other stuff. Then I see another one where you said even more stuff in regards to what you said prior. Like, Bob Arum is in a way of boxing. I think Top Rank, the guys that work at Top Rank, ESPN, should be scratching their head. Like, wait a minute, why did you just do that? You just likely ruined any chance of us getting a Spence fight. Right? Now Terence Crawford got to find a way to make sure he don't get bullied in negotiations. He got to find a way so he'll have some type of leverage in negotiations. And the only way he can do that is if he gets a Manny Pacquiao fight. And that's probably why that's the first thing he said on television. Now, Pacquiao allegedly came out and said he's ready. And we all know, we heard the rumor that the fight was pretty much 95% done. Well, if Pacquiao's ready, and if Crawford can make that Pacquiao fight, that might be all the leverage he needs to shut all this 60-40 bullshit up. Me personally, I don't really care about these splits, and that's these men business. I really hate that Errol Spence comes out here talking all that business shit in public like that. I really don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to be fighters. Y'all handle that shit over the phone or behind closed doors. But in a perfect boxing world, right? Terence Crawford and Errol Spence that fight should be 40-40. The winner gets the last 20, right? 40-40 split, the winner gets the lion's share, the rest of it. That's how it should be. So, but since Errol Spence got 2 of the belts, he's been on pay-per-view a few times, he has a lot of the leverage over Terence Crawford. Not to mention, Bob Arum came out and totally, in my eyes, he devalued Terence Crawford by coming out here bashing him like that. Then you got Eddie Hearn coming out and said it was disrespectful, which it was. Dana White came out and trashed Bob Arum. But back to what Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn said Terence Crawford's a fantastic fighter, very nice man, love the guy, but I don't even know if I could do what Top Rank did with him. So Eddie Hearn pretty much came out and said he don't even know if what he could do with Bud at this point, right? It's not like Terence Crawford don't have a social media presence. He's on social media. But for whatever reason, Bud just doesn't, I don't know what it is. Maybe he don't act a fool enough, right? It seems like black fighters got to act a fool to get some type of buzz or recognition, right? Unless you come from a certain place. It depends on where you're from. That matters too, right? If you're from the East Coast somewhere, you may can get some traction. If you're from the West Coast somewhere, you may can get some traction. If you're from Texas, you definitely will be getting some traction. But when you're from a place like Omaha, Nebraska, it's tough. It's not necessarily known for its boxing. Even though Terence Crawford is like a god out there in Omaha, it's not a place that's necessarily known for boxing. So it's just one of those things, right? It's a lot of politics and shit that comes with this boxing shit. That it hinders the sport. It hinders the sport, and it's really a shame that two of the top guys in the sport really just can't come together to make something happen. The thing that really confuses your boy Bushido the most is maybe I'm just old school, right? I got the gray hair coming in and shit. Maybe I'm just old school. I'm young, but I'm old school, right? I just find it strange that the number one fighter in boxing is getting 40% splits. Terence Crawford said he respects Errol Spence as a man, so he wants to fight him at his best. He's willing to wait to see how Errol Spence looks, wait till he is 110% ready before he fights him. Wants to see him at his best, right? Because he respects him as a man. But clearly Errol Spence don't respect Crawford enough as a man, right? To be trying to bully him in negotiations, bully him and throw all these crazy numbers out in the public like that. Clearly the respect isn't the same. The thing is, too, Errol Spence gave Mikey Garcia 50-50. You know what I'm saying? Now, what did he have that? Was that AB fight a pay-per-view fight? I can't even remember, right? I don't even remember if that was a pay-per-view fight. But Mikey Garcia kind of Money Mayweather his way into an Errol Spence fight, and the rest is history with that. But he was able to get a 50-50, come up and wait, challenge him, get 50-50. Why? You know what I'm saying? What was Mike? Where's Mike Garcia been since? You know what I'm saying? He kind of Money Mayweather this way, got bagged. I mean, I ain't mad at it. Dudes are finessing boxing right before our very eyes. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter got 50-50. A guy that couldn't sell out a family diner, but he was somehow able to get a 50-50 with Errol Spence Jr. Now, I'm not sure what the pay-per-view split was, but the guarantee was the same. But here we have Terence Bud Crawford, a guy that had more belts altogether than any of those guys, right? Lineal champion, the man in two of the divisions that he was in. He was the man. Came up to 147, took the champion's belt that beat Pacquiao, and he's been running guys out the ring since. Stopped everybody at welterweight since. The little guy, right? The guy that's light in the ass, all that other stuff, is running dudes out the ring. He did everything the fans asked of him for the most part. Only thing Crawford needs is that marquee name fighter. It's the only thing he's missing. He got a lot going, but that's the only thing he's missing. Unfortunately for him, he might be just too damn good for his own good. To the point where these fighters that's in his weight class or his rivals want a lot of money to fight him that possibly isn't there. Terence Crawford comes from a place called Omaha, Nebraska, in the middle of America. It's not like the West Coast, the East Coast, Florida, New York, Texas. He comes from a place called Omaha, Nebraska. It's not necessarily known for its boxing. It's not like a Chicago or no shit like that. So Terence Crawford been having it the hard way his whole career. Remember, he was a sparring partner that got discovered by Timothy Bradley. He probably would have never made it if he never got in that sparring match with Timothy. Right? So he didn't have that same road that Errol Spence had, where they was just right after the Olympics, they was pushing him as this, they did a good job with Errol Spence. But Bob Arum must didn't believe in Terence Crawford. Bob Arum has shown a history of this. He did it to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was trying to tell everybody, hey, I'm the best fighter in the world. Nobody was listening to him. They didn't believe in him. Now until Floyd bought his way out of that contract, and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford should have did that years ago. I'm not one to tell a man what he should and shouldn't do. That's his own decision. Maybe he had his own reasons why he stayed with Top Rank. And I'm not, it is what it is. But now you see who Bob Arum really is and how he really feels about you. His toughest fight won't be any opponents. It will be politics. It'll be the politics of boxing. And he's not the only fighter going through it. But it's a shame that the guy that they call the pound for pound king, the best fighter in the world, is going through this. You would think that the pound for pound king in boxing have all the fights. Everybody be lined up to take that number one headband. But no, not in the social media age of boxing. That's not the case. Guys want a lot of money to fight Terence Crawford. You heard Keith Thurman coming out. Oh, I want $10 million. Manny Pacquiao back in the day, remember 5 years ago, $20 million. Danny Garcia, $10 million. Sean Porter's the only guy that's willing to take whatever. I'm thinking that's the fight Bud may have to take if he's not able to secure a Pacquiao fight. Allegedly, Pacquiao came out and said he's ready whenever. So maybe Bud could work out something with Pacquiao, leave Bob out of it, go ahead and get that fight with Pacquiao. It'll be the passing of the torch. I'm not going to say he's 100% beat Pacquiao, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if he go out there and beat Pacquiao, it'd be like a passing of a torch. Pacquiao's be 42 probably by the time they fight. And Crawford have another belt. Then Errol Spence couldn't really say anything about the 60-40 and all this other stuff. Even though Terence Crawford overall has done a lot more than Errol Spence in his career with the accolades, the accomplishments, the belts. He done a lot more. However, in this day and age of boxing, it don't matter what you've done and none of that matters. It's a popularity contest, and Terence Crawford is losing it. Terence Crawford is losing a popularity contest. Terence Crawford is that fighter that needs the opponents, man. But unfortunately, he don't have a promoter that's willing to put the money up for him to fight these opponents. He don't have the promoter that's willing to promote him. Bob Arum don't promote Terence Crawford. How does Bob Arum have energy to promote anybody? He just set up these fights. Who promotes Terence Crawford? Really? ESPN did a pretty good job in the week they did decide to promote him. Bob said he losing a lot of money on Bud, but what about Lomachenko? It looks to me like you could be losing a lot of money on that guy. Lost a few times. Y'all pushed him as this pound for pound guy over Terence Crawford. Really, when you should have been building Bud this whole time. That pay-per-view fight he had shouldn't even been on pay-per-view. The postal fight should have been on TV. You should have been building up Bud on regular ESPN. Not no ESPN Plus. The Jeff Horn fight, the man that beat Pacquiao, that should have been on regular ESPN. And this goes to show you a lot of these promoters today, I think Eddie Hearn kind of gets it, but see, he's British, so it's going to be harder for him over here in America. But a lot of these promoters today, they don't get it. Bob Arum, he don't get it. You need a guy that's in the middle. A guy that understands the younger generation, but also understands the older generation. A guy that knows how to talk to the people. A guy that can sell water to a well. We don't have that in boxing today. We don't have a young Don King in boxing today. Say what you want about Don King. Yeah, he was a crook, but he made a lot of guys a lot of money. And he made some of the best fights in boxing. He didn't protect no fighter. He got you your fights, and he got you paid. Even though he was taking some off the top, these guys got paid. Maybe they didn't manage their money right. But Terence Crawford's toughest fight won't be any opponents. It's going to be boxing politics. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.